Unacademy. Let's crack it.
Hello everyone, welcome to Unacademy. I am Divyanshu Chaudhary and I have secured All India Rank 30 in UPSC Civil Services Examination 2020. In this video, I would be talking about how to crack UPSC Civil Services Examination interview. As you guys are all aware about the interview stage, which is the final stage in civil services examination and is of 275 marks, which might seem minuscule at some point, but given the amount of time that the interview goes on, which basically is around 30 minutes, it can lead to a huge gap between the ones who qualify and the ones who don't. So it is very important to have a good interview to get the best possible rank in civil services examination, to get the rank and the service of your desired choice. Firstly, I would like to talk a bit about my educational qualifications, my optional and my hobbies during the journey of my life so far. I did my BTech in Electrical and Electronics from BITS Pilani and graduated in 2015. So basically, from 2011 to 2015, I was in BITS Pilani, and after that, straight away, I went to IIM Calcutta to pursue my MBA and finished it off in the year 2017. And after that, I went for a job experience in HSBC Bank for a year, which I continued till mid of 2018 and then left it for venturing into the civil services preparation and hence moved to Delhi for the same. Also, my optional for this examination was mathematics, which is considered to be a very technical and scoring optional when we talk about the civil services examination. And at the same time, my hobbies also have been writing Hindi stories, as I am a story writer, also reading Indian mythology and having an interest in the Indian mythology has further accentuated my personality. And similarly, reading biographies and autobiographies has also been an interest of mine. I would now like to talk to all the aspirants about the free live class series in the special classes that I will be launching on the Unacademy platform, which I would really recommend all of you aspirants to refer to for getting an idea of various topics like tips and tricks to crack the prelims examination, mains answer writing strategy, tips to crack the interview with a very good score, similarly, optional strategy in terms of maths optional, and stress and time management and maintaining emotional intelligence during the journey of civil services examination. So, I would recommend all of you to use the code DC30 for the same so as to register in these live classes, which are absolutely free, and please take use of my experience of civil services journey so as to get the maximum benefit out of it and get the desired rank and service of your choice. At the same time, now I would also like to tell you that the Unacademy platform hosts the best educators in the country, some of which you can see here are Mrunal sir, Sudarshan sir, Pratik sir, and Siddharth sir, who have been teaching civil services aspirants and also multiple examinations like MBBS, LLB, etc. for various examinations in the country. There are various pros of learning on the Unacademy platform, some of which I would like to highlight here. The first is interactive live classes. As you can see, these educators take live classes which are very much interactive in nature, where basically there is a two-way interaction between the students and the educators, which will help achieve the maximum satisfaction levels for students in terms of solving their doubts and getting their queries registered. So, coming to the second point, if you raise a hand and you ask your doubt, the educators will wholeheartedly put efforts to solve all your doubts so as to give you a better picture of the topic that is being taught in the class, and hence will help develop your understanding capabilities in a better way. And finally, the most important pro of the Unacademy live classes is that it can be accessed from any time and anywhere in the country, even if it is a remote location in a corner of the country, or if you want to access it anytime during day or night. So I would really recommend all of you to join the Unacademy platform, because it will give you a very much desired flexibility to attend the classes of the top educators of this country based on your convenience and your place where you want to succeed by giving this examination in the future. That being said, now I would like to come to the topic of the day, which basically talks about how to crack the UPSC Civil Services examination, or as is so called the IAS interview. Before I venture into the nitty-gritties of this topic, I would like to tell you that I have given 2 interviews in my 2 attempts of civil services, and in my first attempt I scored a below par score of 146 out of 275 in the interview, and in my second attempt I scored a massive score of 206 out of 275 marks, which basically comes in the top 5 scores of interview this year. And hence this massive jump of 60 marks from first to second attempt led me to get the desired rank and service of my choice. Since, as you can clearly see, I have been on both sides of being experienced enough to have a good and a bad interview, I can really help you differentiate between these two and tell you the tips and tricks that I used to improve upon my experience from the first attempt so as to reach to this stage. So firstly, I would like to give you an overview of what we are going to see in the upcoming slides, where I talk about how to achieve a good score in the interview. Firstly, I would start off with the preparation tips for the same, because I believe that preparation consists of the most important part of interview, because it is your preparation at the end of the day which will lead you to a very high score in the interview. The second is the number and the feedback of the mock interviews that you attempt before you go into the actual interview, and how to justify attending these mock interviews in terms of their feedbacks and the number which is very optimum before you go for your final interview. And the third and the last aspect is basically about the D-Day, or the so-called the interview day, where what all things you should take care of so that you are very relaxed, calm and confident before you walk into that interview room and give your best possible performance to achieve the best possible marks and hence get the desired service and rank of your choice. So firstly, I would like to start off with the preparation tips for the interview. My first tip for you aspirants is that please fill your DAF very carefully and cover it holistically by making notes of each and every word. DAF is basically the form which you fill before the interview, in which you fill all the biodata related to your educational qualifications, your basic introduction like your address, your parents' name, their age, occupation, etc. And also at the same time you fill your achievements, your hobbies, etc., which are very important to showcase your personality and your journey in life so far. At the same time, it is also very important to make notes of each and every word. For example, in one of the mock interviews, since I live on since I live in Malviya Nagar, I was asked about the contribution of Shri Madan Mohan Malviya in the Indian freedom struggle. Similarly, since I live on the road of Amit Bhardwaj Marg, I was asked why the road was named so and the importance of Lieutenant Amit Bhardwaj in the Kargil War. Hence, it is very important to make notes of each and every word of your DAF so as to not leave any stone unturned when you walk into that interview room on your D-Day. The second most important preparation tip is that hobbies are very important. Please have at least one, and having 2 hobbies is a very optimum number. I am saying this because even the board members know that all you have been doing in the past one or few years has been studying because of the rigorous syllabus of UPSC, and you wouldn't have had the time to pursue your hobbies to an effective level. But if you do not write any hobby, then it gives an impression that maybe you are just a bookworm and you do not have any interests in life per se. So even if you don't have any particular hobby, please write one hobby which you can develop interest in during the time from the result of the mains examination to your interview day. Because trust me, if you write even a simple hobby like walking or running or writing answers on Quora and you prepare it really well, you can get very good marks in the interview. Also, before I start off talking about this slide, I would like to say that I had mentioned 3 to 4 hobbies because I was very confident about my preparation related to those hobbies. My hobbies were quizzing, writing Hindi stories, interest in the Indian mythology, and reading autobiographies and biographies. Now, I already knew that quizzing is an area which normally won't be asked in the interview because it is a very wide area, and normally the board members won't ask you quiz questions in the actual interview. So the relevant hobbies only remained 3, which were Indian mythology, reading biographies and autobiographies, and writing Hindi stories. And in both my attempts, I was asked questions related to the Indian mythology, and the member who has asked them, specifically in my second attempt, the chairperson had asked me those questions. She seemed satisfied at the end, and I think it contributed to the score of 206 in my second interview. So please prepare your hobbies really well. They will help you achieve a very good score, and that is my promise to you. Moving on into the preparation tips. Here we see that if you have a work experience, please prepare holistically about it and also the industry in which you have worked. For example, my work experience was in banking in the HSBC Bank. So not only had I to prepare about the basic facts of HSBC, my experience in HSBC related to UPI project, but also in general about the banking industry in India and what are the scenarios and the problems that they are facing currently. So it is very important to diversify your work experience in terms of the industry and at the same time your actual project that you work. Also, I believe that if you learn about some basics of graduation and post-graduation subjects, that would be good, because the examiners and the board members expect you to at least know some basics about those. Hence, it would be advisable to revise a few basics about these. For example, my graduation subject was electrical and electronics. So I had studied some basic mechanisms related to electrical machines and electronic devices and tried to relate them to the current happenings in the world, which is very important because the questions that will be asked normally won't be static in isolation but would also be referring to the current events. Next thing is that the optional subject is to be covered really well. In my case, thankfully, I did not have this thing in particular because my optional was maths, and maths preparation normally doesn't take more time than a day to get prepared. But if you have optionals like sociology, PubAd, or PSIR, it is very important that you prepare them, because there are a lot of questions that are asked both from the static and the current events related to these subjects in your actual interview. So if you have a humanities optional, please do prepare your optional really well. But in terms of a scientific or a technical optional, you can restrict this preparation to basic mechanisms. And finally, this is the part that I'm emphasizing the most on. Current affairs notes are very important. In fact, in my second interview, because my optional was mathematics, only one question was asked from it. And apart from that, my entire interview, apart from Indian mythology, revolved around current affairs. I am asking you to read two newspapers here. I would recommend you to read the Hindu and the Times of India. The reason being, the Hindu basically gives a less number of topics but gives them in depth, while the Times of India gives you a lot of topics, so it basically has a lot of breadth but less depth. So I think if you have to cover in depth and in breadth all the topics, the Hindu and the Times of India will be very necessary. In fact, I remember this time in my interview, I was asked a question as to what are the mechanisms by which India is going to reach its disinvestment target of 1.75 lakh crore rupees of this year. And I remember I had read in a Hindu newspaper editorial that the IPO of LIC will be approximately 1 lakh crore rupees, which will be the major component of this disinvestment target. And hence, when I answered that, the member and the chairperson both nodded in satisfaction, and I knew that my answer was correct because I was referring to the current events very regularly. So I urge you to please read two newspapers, because not only your DAF but at the same time current affairs also constitute a very important part of your interview preparation. The second is the number of mock interviews. Here I would like to emphasize that the optimum number of mock interviews is 6 to 7. This is because if you give a lot number of interviews, you tend to get confused with the feedbacks that you get in various interviews, and this might lead to developing sort of an arbitrary personality which might not end up well for you in the actual interview. Similarly, please do not take feedbacks to heart and get demotivated. Before I come to the feedbacks part, I would like to say that in my personal experience, I had given 30 mock interviews this year. By no means it is close to the number of 6 to 7 that I am recommending to you guys, but I felt, since I was very nervous, underconfident and demotivated in my first interview, I felt the need of giving as much mock interviews as possible to develop confidence for my DAF, especially in the Indian mythology part, which also actually reflected in my answers in the actual interview, and hence it will give me more confidence to go into the actual interview. So because I had a lot of clarity from my first attempt that I will not take feedbacks to heart and get demotivated, this was because I knew that I only want to take the constructive feedback, which I have mentioned in the third point, and I will try to improve on my shortcomings. Hence, I decided to go for more number of mock interviews because I was very clear about these two agendas right from the start. So if you feel that if you give more number of mock interviews, you might get disheartened, please only go for 6 to 7 mock interviews, which is a very optimum number. But if you feel that you need more and more confidence about your DAF and you can do away with these minor issues of not taking feedbacks to heart and getting demotivated, I would ask you to use your personal judgment and go for more number of mock interviews depending on your experience. Similarly, I cannot emphasize more the importance of the fourth point, which is basically please say no to answers that you don't know clearly. I clearly remember that in my first attempt, there were 2 very easy questions of polity, which I ended up answering wrongly because I was under pressure and I couldn't say no when those questions were asked to me. And my interview just went downhill from there. So I decided that this time I'll calmly and confidently listen to all the questions, and after hearing them patiently, think about it, and then I will say no if I don't know the answers. For example, this year I was asked a question related to surrogacy, which revolved around the point that if the surrogate mother has to only produce one child and instead ends up producing two, what happens to the other one? I was not sure about it, and hence I replied that, sir, I am not sure about it and I will go back and read more on it. So please be polite, humble, and confident while saying no, because this is a very important administrative skill that will give you higher returns in the future as well. Also, finally, please keep calm and confident and don't get nervous. This is very important because last year, in my first attempt, I was not able to give good answers because I was very nervous. But this time, I was more calm and confident, and hence I was able to give good answers to the chairperson also. Finally, let us talk about the D-Day. Some of the pointers that I want to tell you are: firstly, groom yourself well. First impression is the last impression. This is very important, and I will tell you the need for it. I heard from a lot of aspirants and friends who had cleared the examination that it is not advisable to wear thick-rimmed spectacles because it makes you look like a bookworm. Hence, I changed my spectacles 1 week before the actual interview so as to give an idea that I do not look like that person, and I'm fairly confident and calm about my preparation. So it is very important that you groom yourself well, because if you walk and talk like an officer when you enter into the room, that impression will definitely help you get good marks. Secondly, please walk in confidently and keep calm. Wish everyone and follow the basic etiquettes that you first wish the chairperson, then the lady member in the panel, and then the other members, and wait for their permission before they ask you to sit down and start answering. So it is very important that you do not fret. Please keep a hand on your heart and try to calm yourself. It will be fine. They are also people like you, and they are there to select you, not to reject you. So please walk in with confidence, keep your calm, wish everyone, and then start following the basic etiquettes. Finally, some of the pointers during the questions that are asked is that, as I've already mentioned, you have to say no to answers that you don't know. Please do not try to bluff, because if they catch you bluffing, they are going to have a very negative impression about you, which will lead to a lot of marks loss. And I have personally experienced that in my first attempt. They appreciate honesty because they know that not every person can know everything, and hence, even if you say no to any of the questions, they'll try to move forward with that. Second is that don't get stressed out even if you don't know answer to many questions. I'm emphasizing on this point because in an interview, there is a mix of static and current questions, static and opinion-based questions. So if you're not able to answer some of the static questions, it is perfectly fine, because the interviewer and the panel members also know that these static questions basically refer to your knowledge that has been tested in the mains examination. So even if you don't answer those, it is perfectly fine. Please don't get stressed out and do not try to jumble up in the questions that depend on your opinions, because these are the questions that will decide your marks. Because a civil servant can be served the knowledge on the platter, but he or she has to have some opinions regarding the issues that are going on in the country. So it is very important to not get stressed out even if you don't have the answer to many questions. And finally, this is my final pointer to you, is that enjoy the process. You have made it through the prelims and mains examination, which have been testing you through the rigorous waters, and hence interview is one small part of your preparation. So please enjoy the day, enjoy the process, enjoy talking to those panel members. They are really experienced, and you will turn out from the interview room in a very happy mood if you talk to them sensibly, give them the respect, and please reply in a very polite, humble, and confident way. And the last thing is to leave the rest to God, because ultimately, I, being an ardent follower of Nishkam Karma, believes that if you work hard, that is in your hands, and leave everything rest to God, I think the result will be in your favor. So with that, I would like to end this video. I wish you all the best for your upcoming civil services examination interview. Thank you so much.
Unacademy. Let's crack it.